morning, Mr. Secretary. I wanted to join quickly with the comments from the chair and the ranking member regarding NOAA. And I hear your point about fake news and numbers, but I'll say this. I mean, I have 2 NOAA installations in my district, and headquarters is, I don't know, just a couple miles across the line. And I heard a very different story than what you're saying about people being forced out of there. But I look forward to getting the answers that you provide here. Also saw your comments with respect to Senator Van Hollen yesterday. I look forward to seeing your responses to his questions, too. Wanted to ask you about MBDA, which the ranking member raised as well. During your confirmation hearing on January 29th before the Senate Commerce Committee, Senator Blunt Rochester asked, yes or no, do you support dismantling the MBDA? And you said, I do not. Now, I got the skinny budget numbers here, and it's got EDA and MBDA combined with a cut for $624 million. And in the narrative connected with that, it says that MBDA, the agency, is fully eliminated. So I wanted to ask you what changed and what's the status of MBDA at this point?
MBDA is not being fully eliminated. That's inaccurate. We are reducing it to its statutory minimum size, as is appropriate. The problem I see with MBDA—
Could I ask you before you move on, what does that mean, statutory minimum size?
I mean, it is required by law to be a certain size, and we will have it be a certain size.
What size is that?
It was 65 people. I think that's less than 10 people.
Okay, and why are you doing that?
These are both small size. The problem is the GAO gives me a report that says there are 80 other programs and 80 institutions that are so much larger, 10 times larger, that achieve the same outcomes. And we are just too small and too inefficient to do it correctly. So I think we are better served having other programs.
I apologize because I've got a couple other areas to hit. I'd love to see that GAO report. I want to know what those 80 other entities are because I'm not aware of them. Maybe SBA has an overlap with the MBDA mission, but the other, I don't know what those other ones could be. But I look forward to hearing back from you on that because I think it's an important agency. It's statutory, so it needs to be maintained certainly at some level. And there's a lot of benefit from it. I would also mention the Congressional Black Caucus sent you a letter on this issue and asked for a response by April 18th. I don't think we've received it yet, so I would ask that you provide that response as well. Let me move quickly to quantum technology. This is kind of a quicker point for me, but quantum computing, this chart shows basically funding by governments. China, as you can see, far outpaces the United States. We've got a couple of other—
I couldn't see it, but I was guessing the top bar.
Yeah.
I didn't need to see the words. I got the point.
Fair enough, fair enough. Well, here's the question, because this is concerning, obviously, and you touched on this a bit in your opening testimony, although you only talked about the enforcement side of competition with China, and clearly they are stealing a lot of our data. But they're also committing a lot of engineers, scientists, and resources to outpacing us on the legitimate side of this too, from the competitive side. I don't see that being reflected in not just the Commerce Department, but the overall U.S. budget. IonQ is a company in my district. It's a spinoff from the University of Maryland's incubator. We have a lot of those across the country. Quick point, oh man, I'm out of time already. The cuts that are being made, and there's an article I'll submit for the record here. World scientists look elsewhere as U.S. labs stagger under Trump cuts. New York Times, cuts in research and scientists brain drain. As we push these people out, I mean, you can shake your head if you want, but I went to visit IonQ. And one of the things that came up was, I was like, how many of these people are from the United States? And he said, not many. And I said, why is that? And he said, well, in part because the pipeline isn't supplying these here in the United States, so we go overseas to get many of them. And one last quick point on this. a venture capital firm I had a chance to meet with said that they invest in, I think there are about 30 of these they invest in. They've started setting up shop in Canada because they can get their engineers and scientists from overseas quicker over there. They don't have to go through the immigration piece. So we're losing money on that front. So look forward to hearing from you on that. Mr. Chairman, I apologize for the overrun and I appreciate your